Trump and that whole, what he unleashed or what he influenced, he removed shame. He removed shame and he galvanized a certain mindset within people who were being restrained by a sense of shame that needed to be there.
Tastemakers.
Classic. We do more than make a living, we make a life. When everything is dark, we are the light. We are the tastemakers, alright. Let tomorrow tell the stories that we make tonight. We do more than make a living.
In gathering all the topics, we were actually supposed to talk about the Tennessee Three. And somehow in gathering the topics, I did miss that. I remember seeing it and being like, yes, we definitely have to talk about that.
What's that?
And yet I did miss it on the thing. So my bad, Charles. You are absolutely right. Yeah, Tennessee 3. Shenanigans happened in Tennessee. Y'all know what happened, right?
No.
Really?
I mean, surface level, but I didn't really do a whole bunch of research on it. I've just seen like posts and stuff about it.
What about you, Goss? You familiar?
Yeah.
Okay. You want to enlighten the people?
What happened? So there was this guy who was, I want to say representative, a state representative.
Yep. So there's 3 representatives. I'll go ahead and don't worry about it. There's 3 representatives in Tennessee, right? 2 black guys, 1 white woman.
Oh yeah, I didn't know that's what they were calling them, but yes, I know this story. Yes.
So what is basically happened is they used a bullhorn during the actual session. Mm-hmm. And they did this because this particular, man, I wish I knew the terms, is ran more so by the conservatives. So when they go to try to do things the right way, the conservatives can say, well, we're just ignoring you. We're not going to, we see your hand in the air and we're not going to come to you, right? Pretty much. So they were like, okay, well, in protest, we're going to use these bullhorns and we're going to say what we have to say in regarding to gun violence and gun, ownership restrictions, different things of that nature. This was right, of course, following the heels of what happened in Nashville, last week and a half, 2 weeks ago, in Nashville, right? And so these 3 Democrat council people did this, and 2 of them, one was a white woman, 2 black gentlemen, 2 of them were then pretty much they expelled them. They didn't expel the white woman. The white woman was asked, hey, why didn't they expel me? Well, they asked her, why didn't they expel you? So it probably had something to do with skin color. So she told it like it was.
Pretty much.
Since then, they have reinstated one of them, but not the other. And the one that they haven't reinstated yet was on Breakfast Club and has actually been doing a bit of a media tour. Mm-hmm. And so with that being said, that's what happened. Just overall thoughts concerning, we'll start with Goss.
Well, it was unprecedented, I think. And then it was interesting to have Obama speak out about it and some other political people speak out about it. Unfortunate as well, too. But it also exposes what's happening in these rooms where, it's mostly white Republicans, conservatives, and things like that. And I didn't even know that could happen. But now that I know it could happen, it kind of got my attention as well, too. So I think it's an educational moment as well as a moment where it's like, how do we stop this from happening again? But yeah, I thought the dude got reinstated from the Breakfast Club.
So they did. That's what Kira is saying in the chat, that everybody now has been reinstated. So it has happened before where people have been expelled and things of that nature, but normally it's for some sort of a criminal act. So this is the first time that it's actually happened for something that wasn't a criminal act, which just shows the total abuse of power or whatever. But as everybody is saying, yes, about actually 5 or 6 hours ago, it looks like. Actually, probably about 8 hours ago, they did actually reinstate Pearson as well. So they have both been reinstated. Now, reinstated is one thing, right? But they're reinstating them as temporaries, right? So they're reinstating them as stand-ins subbing in for themselves.
That's crazy.
And in doing that, that means they have to actually, I believe how it goes, they have to actually run a couple more times to try to keep their seat. So it's kind of weird how that goes as well. Brina, thoughts?
Nah, I mean, I wasn't really. It's like at this point, it's like I couldn't be surprised by what happened, just because of the climate that we're in this country right now. It's just like, wow. It's ridiculous, the way that this country conducts itself, regarding like racial issues and things like resurfacing. Yeah, crazy story. Very
Indeed,
crazy story.
indeed. So Tasha,
It's just I'm not saying that it's not important or not an achievement that the people got them reinstated, but I'm just dwelling on the gall and the brazenness to expel just the black two out of 3 people who did the same exact thing.
so
Like we at a point where we
there was a caveat there too.
Okay,
My bad. And I just want to explain that and let you get back to
who
your point.
were acting in concert
with yes.
each other. They don't care how it look. You know, it's just brazen. It's the brazenness, and really, it's just touching on this. You know, Brina's sentiments are related and close to mine, or mine to hers. That these folk really don't care. They really don't care. In this era of I can't even call it post. You know, it's like Trump and that whole, you know, what he unleashed or what he influenced. He removed shame. He removed shame, and he galvanized a certain mindset within people who were being restrained by a sense of shame that needed to be there. You know what I'm saying? It's like hearts were changing. Hearts were changing, but it's not an easy process to change people's hearts and minds. And they're just those who were left, you know, after all of the changes and progress we made in this country, those who were still holding out and blowing on the embers of that just racist and narrow mindset, they finally got a release. And you know, there's 2 awakenings that's been happening in this country. It's like an awakening of people who want to see the truth, and sort of a reawakening of people who have been feeling suppressed. The "you can't say nothing anymore" crowd, when they really mean is you can't say anything racist. You can't call porch monkeys niggers anymore. You know, that crowd.
Right.
It's just they don't care. They've been given license and they're running with it, and I just don't know if the reinstatement, especially under the terms that has been made, is really comforting to me in proportion to my concern that these people just hauled off and did this, like, and they don't care. It's
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I guess it's a W. I'm not trying to rain on the parade, but my, the times we're living in again.
Mm-hmm.
If
they ever ended, there you go. So I think the W is, as Mo said, the Republicans did kind of shoot themselves in the foot in the sense that they have really raised these gentlemen's profiles. Quite frankly,
evil always does. Evil always does.
They did raise these gentlemen's profile quite a bit, and I was actually kind of impressed by Pearson, hearing him talk and speak and different things of that nature. You know, I was kind of impressed by Pearson. Very young man, but definitely seems to be headed in the right direction. Um, you know, all skin folk ain't kinfolk though, because Castle's really trying to come at him as a plant.
That
You know what I
that
mean? Because I think they had showed a video of him talking earlier, kind of like in his career without the afro, looking very polished and whatever the case may be. Still, still a progressive, right? Still a Democrat, but kind of on some kind of code switching type. And then now he's very Afro, boom, boom, boom. And so they were messing with him on that. And to me, to that, I'm just like, people grow, right?
at this
People
point,
grow.
we have to know, understand, and recognize that politics is a part of the entertainment industry.
Well, that too.
Let's stop pretending it's just government and civic life. To be in politics, especially if you're someone that needs people's donations to maintain your seat. Part of your job is entertainment.
And this has gotten Pearson and the others a lot of donations too, which is kind of cool too, to help them with their next campaigns and whatnot. So, like I said, y'all know me, I always say I don't really claim to be Republican or Democrat. But man, Republicans are out here just being wild. And I think this not to scare. I don't know if
Do
the
you
word
see
is
the
scary.
stuff happening in my state?
Well, your state is, your state.
Bro, Florida's about to have its own military.
Shit, wow. So the thing that is like democracy is what's important here a lot of times, right? And what's really messed up is how they will seemingly go about taking away your rights to be heard in a democracy. Yeah. And so that's what's happened here. It wasn't what they did, it's what they were saying. And because they were going against guns and yada, 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 and a lot of these cats is paid off by the NRA and yada, 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 they look to silence these cats. And it's one thing to disagree with somebody. Mm-hmm. It's another thing to take a person off the board.
Yeah, but I mean, here's the thing.
Their point.
You cannot. Someone showed me a graphic. It was so effective. It was a picture of two castles firing missiles at each other, or they were firing cannonballs one from the other. And this castle, they were firing directly. The cannons in that castle were firing directly at the other castle, but this castle was firing at the foundation of the other castle. And that's kind of what we have going on. It's like, I'm NPA, whatever. I have critiques for both sides, and I have sympathies for both sides, or positions held by both sides. And I just think where Democrats and liberals keep dropping the ball is they won't step up and play the same game Republicans and conservatives are playing. They did long ago. So they did long ago, but now it's like crying about them breaking. They cry about the rules being broken a lot instead of breaking the same rules, or close, or even just close, just even getting up to the line. It's like, what are you trying to prove at this point? Like, get the job done. Because while now you're talking about guns, this and abortion, that, and you're fighting all the things, right? But what Republicans are doing is they're getting in here, anime. They're getting in people's head. Like, they figured out that if we can jar people and make them angry about something, even if what they're angry about is stupid, right?
Or a downright lie.
Even if it's a downright lie. And not even that. This is the thing that Republicans keep focusing on and why they keep winning. Are you ready? It's the gerrymandering. It's the redistricting. Go ahead. You're gonna fight over stuff that people. This block is gonna vote like this. This block gonna. We already know how people are gonna vote. You're focusing on all the offshoots of what Republicans are doing instead of getting to the heart of how they take people's voices away, which is the redrawing of the district lines. You saw the article recently about which HBCU was it? One side of the campus is a district and the other side of the campus is another. So they have diluted the voting power of those students at that college. I wish the college would come back to mind. Anywhere you have a hub of Black people, you're going to see all the lines going through there because they already know that's what matters. They are firing at the other castle's foundation. And Democrats and liberals keep firing at this window, that political issue, that thing, reacting to stuff Trump says. Who cares? Fight the redistricting. I just feel like that's where the real battle is. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter how you convince people to vote if their vote does not count as much as the other guy's vote.
That's a good point there as well. I just I don't know. I do think the Democrats don't do enough. I do believe that, but I've constantly stood on the stage of saying, Republicans, I need you to take your party back. Like, take it back from this MAGA Trump, influence that has really gotten deep in your party. Take your party back, because I don't want to ask the Democrats. I don't want to. I don't want to ask them to go low because the Republicans are going low. But I do think they need to do more.
I'm not saying go low. I'm just saying squat. Get the meat. Just like stop doing the same thing and crying about losing. My Lord, when does it end?
I hear you. Judon makes a point. He said Republicans are losing their grip. The youth are very liberal, and pubs don't know how to reach them. I think youths have always been very liberal, though. Is that the case or no? I think youths normally are more liberal, but
relative to the prior generation. But even just objectively speaking, like these kids is on something. They're gonna be on something else. They're gonna be on something else, even for us, So yeah, he does make a point.
It's interesting to see. I just don't. I don't know. I feel like when I was a teenager, kids were more liberal as well. But then as they started to get into their early 20s and what stuff, some of them started. I think even maybe even I at that time started going a little bit more conservative.
Well, here's the thing: America is getting blacker and browner, and the idea of what it means to be an American is being more closely associated with a white Christian nationalist identity by the right. So the more they try to make being American synonymous with that, the more they're going to lose people, because America is hardly, I think white people are plurality at this point. They're not the majority anymore. It's just that all Black and brown people we don't vote together yet. Right? You have some blocks of Hispanics that vote with conservatives, and you have things are still splintered, but there's so many areas that are termed majority minority, which makes sense, because if you're no longer the minority, why are you still being called a minority if you outnumber?
I hear y'all saying that, but I still think white is the majority at the moment. I think they will not be the majority soon, but I think they are still the majority at the moment. I think they got a few more years. I believe
it's closing in, and this is why I'm saying this is the reason for the brazenness and the desperate. It's part of it is desperation.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with that. I was passing by my friend's room the other day, and she's an elderly woman, and their TV is loud. Their TV is just blasting loud, and it's, not TBN per se. I don't want to lie on the station, but one of those stations. And it was Sunday. And you would think they would be talking about Jesus, the Bible, a Bible story, how to live right, how good God is, whatever. I walk by there and I hear more black women are responsible for more babies' deaths than da 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 da. Like they were just going in on black women, like black women are the only ones aborting babies, and it's their fault that some find it necessary to get it. It was just disgusting. Really? It was disgusting, and it was a major preacher. I don't remember. My memory is not doing the thing tonight.
Yeah, you can. It's just
like okay. It you know, the TBNs and the Daystar televisions of the world, they weren't that politicized back in the day. Mm-mm. But there's emerging the political identity, the cultural, the social, and the religion. It's like they're trying to tie it together, you know, but there's just not enough people for that anymore. And so even if the younger people weren't as liberal as they are, they're not as white. And just everything is falling along these ideological lines now that you're really going to see this chasm. And I'm telling you, something's coming. I mean, we're in the middle of a full blown, what's already a culture war. It's already here. It's already happening.
Yeah. No, that's for sure. I think the insurrection showed us that on January 6th of 2021 for sure.
Yeah, I've had people come to me who watch those channels like, they didn't do anything wrong. They didn't. What happened? They didn't do it. I'm like, nigga, they kill people. You saw they kill people, right? You know what a murder is?
Yeah.
A murder?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just crazy. They'll just lie to your face. You saw what happened with all those people on Fox. When the text came out, how they secretly hate Trump and all of those and they still get on TV and peddle the filth. It's
crazy. It's crazy. Politics is entertainment. That's very, very true. But if anything, y'all, we just encourage y'all to make sure to vote, because that's the real only power that we really have in this situation is to vote.
Vote and pressure the people you vote for to focus on what needs to be focused on. We don't care. I get called the N-word silently in so many different ways in my daily work. Who cares? I know how some people look at me. I don't care about y'all. Stop the gerrymandering. Focus on what matters. Stop. I don't care about the stuff that's called, ooh, this is a good headline. This person called this person that, or look what this white lady did to this person. I don't give a damn.
Yeah.
I need you to stop the redistricting. I need you to focus on what matters most. Yeah. Mr. Senator, Mrs. Legislator.
Tastemakers. Classic. We do more than make a living, we make a life. When everything is dark, we are the light. We are the tastemakers. Aight. Let tomorrow tell the stories that we make tonight. We do more than make a living, we make